The survey vessel Celestial Whisper shook as its sensors detected something unexpected. Commander Kim's 3 eyes grew wide as he stood at the main window of the bridge. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. "Scan it again," he told his crew. Officer Park moved his tentacles quickly over the control panel. "It's confirmed, Commander. This ship doesn't match anything in our database. The Galactic Concordat has never seen this type of vessel before." Kim watched as the strange ship moved through a field of asteroids with amazing skill. The ship was dark and seemed to swallow up their scanner signals instead of bouncing them back. Its shape was not beautiful but practical: sharp angles, heavy armor, and many weapon ports along its sides. "Show me a closer view," Kim ordered. The screen zoomed in to show a symbol on the side of the ship. It was a blue ball with green land shapes, circled by white stars. "Earth," Science Officer Lee said quietly. "This ship is from humans." Everyone on the bridge went quiet. Humans were known to be wild and dangerous. The Concordat had watched them from far away, but never made contact. Earth was forbidden territory, considered too risky for official meetings. Yet now a human warship was here, far from Earth, with technology that humans shouldn't have for hundreds of years. With a shaking finger, Kim pressed the emergency alert button. "Alert! Human warship spotted in the sector." The news spread through the Concordat fleet like wildfire. Ships from 17 species moved to defensive positions. This was unprecedented. Humans were supposed to be contained in their solar system, still fighting their tribal wars, still burning fossil fuels. "What are our orders, Commander?" asked Navigation Officer Jin, his scaled skin reflecting the red emergency lights. Kim studied the tactical display. The human ship had not changed course or speed. It continued its steady movement through the asteroid field, as if unaware or unconcerned about the growing Concordat fleet assembling at a safe distance. "Maintain observation distance. No aggressive moves," Kim ordered. "And keep scanning. I want to know everything about that ship." Officer Park's readings continued to flow across the screens. "Commander, their power source. It's unlike anything we've seen. They appear to be using some form of controlled fusion that's far more efficient than our best technology." Science Officer Lee moved to another console. "Their hull material is absorbing our standard scans. I'm trying different frequencies now." After a moment, he gasped. "Commander, the ship's armor. It appears to be self-healing." Kim felt a chill run through all 3 of his hearts. The Concordat had ruled this sector for 12,000 cycles. Their technology was considered the pinnacle of achievement among known species. Yet this single human vessel displayed capabilities that should be impossible for such a young race. "Any response to our identification requests?" Kim asked Communications Officer Moon. "None, Commander. They're receiving our signals but not responding." The human ship suddenly changed course, turning directly toward the Celestial Whisper. Several officers made sounds of alarm. "Hold positions," Kim ordered, though his voice wavered slightly. "They're likely just curious about us." The human vessel accelerated, covering the distance between them with frightening speed. It was close enough now that they could see details without magnification. The dark hull was scarred with what appeared to be battle damage, long streaks where something had scraped against the armor, leaving scored marks. "Commander," Park said urgently, "they're scanning us now. Their scan is penetrating our shields as if they weren't there." Kim straightened his posture, all 4 arms positioned in formal diplomatic stance. If these humans could see them, he would at least present the dignity of the Concordat. "Open all communication channels," he ordered. "Broadcast in all known frequencies." Officer Moon quickly complied. "This is Commander Kim of the Galactic Concordat vessel Celestial Whisper *. We are a peaceful scientific vessel. Please identify yourselves and state your purpose in this sector." For several long moments, there was silence. Then a sound came through their speakers, a series of tones that made no sense to their translation systems. "What is that?" Kim asked. Lee tilted his head receptors. It might be their language, but it doesn't match any Earth broadcasts we've monitored. The human ship suddenly went dark. All its external lights switched off at once. The weapon ports closed. It appeared to be powering down. Are they surrendering? Jin asked hopefully. Or preparing to attack? Officer Park countered. A new sound came through their speakers, this time recognizable as a voice, speaking the most common trade language of the Concordat with a strange accent. Concordat vessel, this is Captain Song of the Human Systems Ship Thunderbolt *. We come in peace and request permission to send a representative to discuss matters of urgent importance to both our peoples. Kim exchanged looks with his senior officers. This was beyond their authority. Human vessel, we must consult with Concordat Command before agreeing to any meeting. Understood, replied the human captain. However, I must inform you that time is limited. The threat we've come to warn you about will not wait for bureaucratic procedures. Threat? Kim questioned. Yes, Commander. The Void Harvesters have returned. They've already destroyed 3 human colonies, and according to our calculations, your worlds are next. Kim felt his skin pale. The Harvesters were ancient legends, cosmic predators who consumed entire planets before disappearing back into the void between galaxies. Most believed they were myths. Stand by, human vessel, he said, then cut the communication. Send an urgent message to command. Priority Alpha. Include everything we've learned about the human ship. As the message was sent, Kim stared at the dark ship floating silently before them. Humans, a species they had dismissed as primitive, had somehow managed to build ships that outclassed Concordat technology, and now they claimed an ancient horror was returning. Should we believe them? Officer Jin asked quietly. Kim had no answer. But one thing was certain, nothing in the Concordat would be the same after today. The Concordat Council chamber was filled with noise as 32 different species talked at once. None of them had ever planned for humans to leave their home system with advanced technology. We should destroy the human ship now, said General Choi, the sound of his armored body plates clicking together showing how upset he was. They are dangerous. We all know the stories of their wars. High Counselor Ba lifted one of her long, thin tendrils in a gesture for calm. No, we will not start a war when we don't need to. We will send Ambassador Han to talk with them. Most of the council agreed, though some like General Choi still wanted to attack. In the end, Ba's plan won out. 2 days later, Ambassador Han sat in a diplomatic shuttle heading toward the human warship. His team of 5 assistants looked nervous. Han himself tried to stay calm, but his skin color kept changing from its normal green to a worried pale blue. The human ship is called Thunder *, said his chief assistant. It's much bigger than our records said human ships should be. Han nodded. Remember your training. Make no sudden movements. Humans are unpredictable. As their shuttle got closer, Han could see just how massive the human ship was. It was at least twice the size of the largest Concordat battleship. Its dark surface was marked with what looked like weapons that could destroy planets. We are receiving a message, announced the pilot. A flat screen lit up, showing the human face. Han was surprised by how simple it looked. Just 2 eyes, a small nose, and a mouth. No protective plates, no extrasensory organs, nothing that showed power or strength. This is Captain Yoon of the Human Systems Ship Thunder *. You are cleared to dock in Bay 3. The voice was calm and clear. Han's translator had no trouble with the words. When their shuttle landed in the docking bay, Han was impressed by what he saw. The space was huge, perfectly clean, and filled with smaller ships arranged in perfect lines. Everything showed order and discipline he hadn't expected from humans. A group of 5 humans waited for them. Han was shocked again. These creatures were small. Most of them would only reach his shoulder. They had no claws, no visible armor, nothing that showed they could be the dangerous species the Concordat had feared for so long. The one in front stepped forward. Ambassador Han, I am Captain Yun. Welcome aboard the Thunder asterisk. The captain made a movement with his mouth that Han's cultural training identified as a smile, a friendly gesture. Thank you for allowing this meeting, Han replied formally. The Concordat wishes to understand your presence in our space. Captain Yun nodded. Please, follow me to our meeting room. We have much to discuss. As they walked through the ship, Han noticed how the other humans watched them with curious but not hostile eyes. The ship's corridors were wide and bright, not what he expected from a warship. Your vessel is impressive, Han said. Our records suggested humans were not capable of such technology. We've made fast progress, Captain Yun replied. We've had to. In the meeting room, Han and his team sat at a large round table. Captain Yun offered them drinks specially prepared for their biology. Another surprise that showed the humans knew more about them than expected. Welcome aboard, Captain Yun said again. To be honest, we've been expecting the Concordat to find one of our ships eventually. Han's translator struggled to capture his shocked tone. You know of us. For decades, Yun replied calmly. We've been monitoring your communications, learning your languages, studying your species. Han felt uneasy. The Concordat had watched Earth too, but apparently the humans had been aware of it. Then why have you not contacted us before? Han asked. We were waiting until we were ready, Captain Yun said. But recent events forced our hand. We came with urgent news. The captain's face grew serious. The Void Harvesters have returned. They've already destroyed 3 of our colonies. Han felt his primary heart stop beating for a moment. The Harvesters were creatures from ancient stories, terrible beings that ate worlds and left nothing behind. Every child in the Concordat knew the legends, but no one believed they were real. Impossible, Han said. They are myths, stories to frighten young ones. Captain Yun's friendly expression disappeared. I wish they were just stories. The captain touched a control on the table. A 3-dimensional image appeared in the air above them. It showed a beautiful green planet. Then something huge and dark moved across it, like a living shadow with crystal teeth. Where it passed, the planet's surface was stripped away down to bare rock. This was the human colony of New Eden, 3 months ago, Captain Yun said quietly. Population 8 million. No survivors. Han watched in horror as the recording continued. The dark thing, the Harvester, consumed the entire planet's biosphere in hours. This can't be real, one of Han's assistants whispered. It is, said Captain Yun. And according to our calculations, they're heading toward Concordat space next. That's why we're here. To warn you, and to ask for your help. Our help? Han was confused. Your technology seems far beyond ours. In some ways, yes, the captain admitted. But the Harvesters aren't just a military threat. There's something ancient and terrible that existed before either of our species. We need to combine our knowledge if we want to have any chance of stopping them. Han thought about the Concordat Council, about General Choi and others who would never trust humans. Many in the Concordat will not believe this. They will think it's a trick. Then we need to convince them, Captain Yun said, because if we don't work together, both our civilizations will end up like New Eden. Han looked again at the image of the destroyed planet. He had come expecting to meet dangerous warriors. Instead, he found desperate allies with a warning that could save them all, if anyone would listen. I will bring your message to the council, Han promised. But I cannot promise they will believe it. Captain Yun nodded grimly. We don't have much time, Ambassador. The Harvesters are coming. And they're always hungry. General Choi slammed his armored fist on the council table. The sound echoed through the large chamber where the Concordat leaders had gathered to hear Ambassador Han's report. This is manipulation, he said angrily. These humans are clever. They show us scary pictures and tell us stories about monsters. All they really want is access to our territories. Ambassador Han moved his tendrils in a gesture of frustration. His skin had turned a deep orange color, showing his strong emotions. The evidence they provided could be fake, Counselor Ba said, cutting him off. Her voice was calmer than General Choi's, but her eyes showed she was worried too. However, we cannot risk ignoring the warning. If there is even a small chance the harvesters are real, we must prepare. The council argued for hours. Some believed the humans. Others thought it was a trick. In the end, they decided to ready their defenses while continuing to watch the human ship carefully. 3 days later, the Concordat defense fleet gathered in space near the human vessel named Thunder. 500 Concordat ships formed a wide half-circle, their weapons ready but not yet aimed at the single human warship. On the main Concordat command ship, Ambassador Han watched the screen showing both fleets. He felt nervous. If either side made a mistake now, a terrible war could start. Ambassador, a voice called from behind him. Han turned to see Commander Kang walking quickly toward him. Kang was the head of Concordat Engineering and one of the smartest minds in the fleet. "I need to speak with you privately," Kang said, his voice low. Han followed him to a small room away from the other officers. Kang pulled out a small data crystal that glowed with stored information. "We examined the human shuttle while they were meeting with you," Kang said. "I wanted to understand their technology." He paused, looking around as if afraid someone might hear. "What we found is, it's beyond comprehension. They're using science we've only dreamed about." "What do you mean?" Han asked. "Their power systems don't use standard fusion like ours. They're manipulating forces we've only theorized about. And their computer systems." Kang shook his head in wonder. "They're at least 200 years ahead of our best technology." Han felt a chill run through his body. Could they be telling the truth about the harvesters too? Before Kang could answer, a loud alarm started blaring throughout the ship. Red emergency lights flashed in the corridors. "What's happening?" Han asked, as they rushed back to the command center. The main view screen showed officers running to their stations. General Choi was shouting orders. In the corner of the room, the human Captain Yoon stood with 2 of his officers. They had been invited to observe the Concordat fleet as a show of growing trust. "Something has emerged from dark space near Colony Outpost 7, an officer reported. It's huge." The screen changed to show a distant view of space near one of the Concordat's outer colonies. Something was appearing there, like a tear in the fabric of reality. Through this tear came an object so large that Han at first thought it was a small moon. As the image became clearer, he could see it was a massive crystalline structure with long, jagged arms stretching outward into space. Around it flew hundreds of smaller objects shaped like upside-down pyramids. "Harvesters," Captain Yoon whispered, his face gone pale. "And that's just their scout ship." The command center went silent. General Choi turned slowly to face the human captain. The general's scales had lost their usual bright color. "How many more?" he asked, his voice no longer angry but filled with fear. "Thousands," Captain Yoon replied simply. "And they're hungry." General Choi stared at the screen for a long moment. Then he straightened his back and turned to his communications officer. "Contact all Concordat worlds. Full military alert. All civilian ships are to evacuate Colony Outpost 7 immediately." "What about the human?" someone asked. General Choi looked at Captain Yoon with new respect in his eyes. "It seems we owe you an apology, Captain. Your warning was true." Captain Yoon nodded but didn't look pleased to be right. "We need to move quickly. That scout ship will call the main fleet once it finds good feeding grounds." "What do you suggest?" asked Counselor Ba, who had entered the command center during the alarm. "We need to stop it before it can send a signal," Captain Yoon said. "My ship can get close enough to disrupt its communications." "One ship against that." General Choi pointed at the screen where the crystal monstrosity was now clearly visible, its size making the Concordat colony look tiny in comparison. "The Thunder was built to fight harvesters," Captain Yoon explained. "We've done it before." "Not alone," General Choi decided. "I'll send 50 of our best ships with you." Captain Yoon shook his head. "No, Your ships aren't ready for this fight. The harvesters will tear through your fleet before you get close." "Then what do you suggest?" General Choi demanded, some of his earlier anger returning. "Let us handle the scout ship," Captain Yoon said. "Meanwhile, you prepare your worlds for what's coming. Strengthen your defenses. And," he hesitated, "contact your scientists. We'll need to share our technology if we're going to survive what comes next." Ambassador Han watched as the two leaders, Human and Concordat, looked at each other. After a moment, General Choi extended one armored hand. Captain Yoon took it in his much smaller human hand. "We have an alliance," General Choi said formally. As Captain Yoon and his officers hurried back to their ship, Ambassador Han felt both hope and terror. The monsters from ancient stories were real, but at least they wouldn't face them alone. "The Thunder is moving," an officer reported. On the screen, the human warship turned and accelerated toward the distant Harvester scout ship. Its engines flared with energy no Concordat ship could match. "May fortune follow them," Counselor Ba said softly. Han watched the human ship grow smaller on the screen. He wondered if they would ever see it again. Fire bloomed across the darkness of space as another Concordat cruiser broke apart. The battle had started 8 hours ago when the main Harvester fleet arrived. Now the fight stretched across 3 star systems, and the Concordat forces were losing badly. On the command deck of the flagship Eternal Vigilance General Choi watched as his carefully planned defense fell apart. The Harvester weapons cut through Concordat shields as if they weren't there. Their crystal ships moved faster than anything he had ever seen. 78 ships lost, reported Officer Song, her voice shaking. The 4th battle group is completely gone. General Choi's scales darkened with grief. Each ship carried 500 crew members. Good soldiers, now gone. "Fall back to defensive position Omega," he ordered as another cruiser exploded nearby. The blast temporarily blinded the flagship's sensors. When the screen cleared, Choi could see his remaining ships pulling back toward the inner planets. The Harvesters followed, their crystal ships glittering in the light of the system's sun. Only one ship wasn't retreating. The human vessel Thunder moved in the opposite direction, diving straight toward the largest Harvester ship. It twisted and turned with amazing skill, avoiding most of the enemy fire. "What are they doing?" demanded Choi, pointing at the screen. "Order them to fall back." Officer Song studied her display. "They're not responding to our signals." After a moment, her eyes widened. "General, I think they're drawing fire away from our medical ships." Choi looked at the tactical map and saw she was right. A group of Concordat medical vessels was escaping from the battle zone, while the Thunder kept the Harvesters busy. "Brave," he said quietly, "but foolish. They can't face the command ship alone." The Thunder took a direct hit from a Harvester beam. Its left side erupted in flames as atmosphere vented into space. Yet the human ship kept going, pushing its engines harder. "They should be dead," whispered one of the bridge officers. As the damaged Thunder closed in on the Harvester command ship, it released what looked like small shuttles. Dozens of them shot toward the crystal vessel. Officer Song leaned closer to her screen. "Those aren't shuttles," she realized suddenly. "They're warheads." The objects hit the Harvester command ship one after another. Each explosion was small, but they struck at specific points along the crystal structure. Cracks spread across the huge vessel's surface. "They know the weak points," General Choi said with growing hope. "How could they know that?" The Harvester command ship began to break apart, pieces of crystal spinning away into space. The smaller Harvester vessels seemed confused, their movements becoming less coordinated. "General," called the sensor officer, "something's happening behind the battle." A strange distortion appeared in space, like reality itself was being pulled apart. Through this tear came 3 massive ships, larger even than the Thunder. Their design was similar but more aggressive, with weapon ports glowing with ready energy. "More human ships," Officer Song confirmed. They're firing already. The new human vessels launched an attack before they were fully through the space distortion. Their weapons, energy beams colored deep purple, cut through the harvester ships with shocking effectiveness. Where Concordat weapons had barely scratched the crystal hulls, the human weapons shattered them completely. "This is Admiral Nam of the Human Expeditionary Force," came a transmission on all frequencies. "Sorry we're late to the party." The voice sounded casual, almost cheerful, as if this was a social event rather than a desperate battle. "Late," General Choi muttered. "They're right on time." He ordered his remaining ships to regroup and support the human vessels. With the Harvester command ship destroyed and the new human reinforcements, the tide of battle quickly turned. The human ships moved in perfect coordination, as if they shared one mind. They targeted the largest Harvester vessels first, using their strange purple weapons to break them apart. The Concordat ships followed behind, destroying any Harvesters that tried to escape. 2 hours later, the battle was over. The space around them was filled with floating crystal debris, all that remained of the Harvester fleet. On the Eternal Vigilance *, General Choi received a transmission request from Admiral Nam. When he accepted, the screen showed a human female with short gray hair and a face marked with old scars. "General Choi," she said with a small bow. "I'm pleased to meet you, though I wish it were under better circumstances." "Admiral Nam," Choi replied with his own bow. "Your arrival saved many lives today. The Concordat thanks you." The human admiral nodded. "How does the thunder *? Our sensors show heavy damage." "They're still intact," Choi said, "but barely. We've sent medical teams to help their wounded." "Good," Admiral Nam said. "Captain Yoon and his crew are some of our best. They've been fighting Harvesters longer than anyone." General Choi had many questions. "Your weapons, they cut through the Harvesters easily." "Our best weapons barely damaged them." Admiral Nam's face grew serious. "We've had more practice. 30 years of fighting teaches you a few things." 30 years? Choi was shocked. "You've been fighting these monsters for 30 years. "Yes," she replied simply. "They found Earth first, before we had space travel. We nearly died as a species, but humans are stubborn." Her mouth formed a small smile. "We learned. We adapted. We built ships specifically to fight Harvesters." General Choi thought about the Concordat's long peace, how they had forgotten the ancient warnings about the Harvesters. Meanwhile, humans had been fighting for their survival. "Will they return?" he asked. Admiral Nam's smile disappeared. "Yes. What you saw today was just one battle group. The main Harvester fleet is still out there, consuming worlds. But now they know we can hurt them. They'll be more careful next time." "Then we must prepare," General Choi said firmly. "The Concordat has many worlds, many resources. Together with humans, perhaps we can stop them for good." Admiral Nam nodded. "That's why we sought you out, General. Alone, neither of us can win this war, but together, we have a chance." As repair ships moved among the damaged fleet, General Choi looked at the tactical display showing both human and Concordat vessels. So different in design, yet now fighting side by side. Perhaps this unlikely alliance was exactly what both their species needed to survive. The Great Hall of the Concordat Council was quiet, usually filled with the sounds of 32 species talking, arguing, and making deals. Today it was almost silent. The war against the Harvesters had ended 2 weeks ago, but the cost had been high. 17 Concordat worlds were badly damaged. 3 planets were completely destroyed, their entire populations lost. Captain Yoon walked slowly into the chamber. His right arm was in a medical device that helped heal broken bones. His face showed cuts that were still healing. Behind him walked Admiral Nam and 2 other human officers. High Counselor Ba spoke first. "Captain Yoon, Admiral Nam, the Concordat formally thanks you and all humans for your help against the Harvesters. Without you, we would have lost much more." Captain Yoon nodded but didn't smile. "We all lost too much. This victory came at a high price. General Choi, who had led the Concordat forces during the final battle, stepped forward. His armored body showed new marks and repairs where he had been wounded. "What I don't understand is how you knew so much about fighting them," he said. "You knew their weak points, the best weapons to use against them." "How?" "We've been fighting them for 30 years, Captain Yoon replied simply. "They found Earth first, long before we had space travel. They attacked us when we could barely defend ourselves." The council members murmured in surprise. "How did you survive?" asked Ambassador Han. "By sheer luck and desperation," Yoon said. "One of their scout ships came to Earth alone. We managed to destroy it by detonating nuclear weapons in space, the only weapons we had that could harm it. The explosion sent a signal that scared away the main fleet. For a while." Admiral Nam continued the story. "That attack united our world like nothing before. All countries worked together to develop space technology, build better weapons, prepare for their return. When we finally created faster-than-light travel, we discovered the harvesters had already eaten dozens of worlds. We knew they would come back to finish Earth eventually." Counselor Ba looked troubled. "Why did you not contact the Concordat? Together we could have prepared better." "We tried, once," Captain Yoon said. His voice held no anger, just statement of fact. 10 years ago, we sent a diplomatic ship to one of your border outposts. Your patrol ships fired on it without warning." Many council members looked embarrassed. The Concordat had strict rules about unknown ships entering their territory. After that, Yoon continued, "We decided to follow our own path. We built hidden colonies far from both Earth and Concordat space. We developed technology specifically to fight harvesters. We prepared as best we could." General Choi asked the question many were thinking. "How many human worlds exist? How large is your territory?" Captain Yoon's face showed nothing. "Enough," he answered simply. "But numbers aren't important now. We have a choice to make. Continue as separate powers, or form an alliance that benefits us all." The council chamber erupted in voices. Some wanted immediate alliance with these powerful humans. Others feared them almost as much as the harvesters. "You ask us to trust you," said one council member, "but you hid your true power from us for years. And you quarantined Earth without ever speaking to us." Admiral Nam replied calmly. "Both sides made mistakes based on fear. Now we have a chance to do better." High Counselor Ba called for order. "This decision cannot be made quickly. Each species must consult with their home governments. We will vote in 3 days." During those 3 days, the Concordat worlds were filled with debate. Some saw humans as saviors. Others saw them as a new threat. Information about human technology, both its wonders and dangers, spread quickly. When the vote came, the result surprised many. 17 species chose alliance with the humans. 9 withdrew from the Concordat entirely, too afraid of human power to stay. 4 remained neutral, waiting to see what would happen next. The new alliance would be called the Galactic Cooperative. Humans would share some of their technology, especially defenses against harvesters. The Concordat would share their knowledge of the galaxy, their trading networks, and their diplomatic skills. 1 month after the vote, Commander Kim stood on the observation deck of the new Joint Command Station. His discovery of the human ship Thunder had changed everything. Now he had been promoted to Fleet Commander, responsible for coordinating human and Concordat ships protecting the sector. Below the station, ships from both civilizations moved together in patrol formations. At first, the different styles of ships had looked strange together. The angular, dark human vessels next to the smooth, colorful Concordat ships. Now they seemed right together, complementing each other's strengths. A young officer approached Kim. "Sir, it's time for the daily status report to headquarters." Kim watched as a human destroyer called Swift Justice gracefully docked alongside 3 Concordat cruisers. Its crew would join the station for a celebration later that day. Another step in building trust between their peoples. "Yes, send the report," Kim said. Then he added, but change the header from the usual alert message. "What should it say instead, sir?" asked the officer. Kim smiled, all three of his eyes focusing on the combined fleet below. It should now read, "Alert. Human allies now protecting the sector." As the message went out across the galaxy, Kim thought about how quickly everything had changed. Just months ago, humans were considered primitive and dangerous, to be avoided at all costs. Now they were essential allies in a larger fight for survival. The harvesters would return someday. Kim knew that. But when they did, they would find something they hadn't expected: two civilizations united, learning from each other, growing stronger together. "Sir," the young officer said, "the humans are asking if you'll join their celebration. They say they want to honor the person who first spotted their ship." Kim nodded. "Tell them I would be honored." As he walked toward the docking bay, Kim thought about the alert message he had sent that day when he first saw the *thunder*. Alert. Human warship spotted in the sector. What had seemed like a threat had turned out to be salvation. Sometimes the most frightening discoveries turned out to be the most important ones. The end.